Hello, ma'am, and thank you so much for speaking with the CSR Journal. In the beginning, I would like to understand what you are involved in, the initiatives taken, and the vision behind it.
I think the idea behind setting up the foundation was to bring both funding and capacity building, opportunities to the non-profit sector, to the founders in the non-profit sector. And because we were born out of a corporate, the idea was to also bring the skills and the expertise and the resources that the for-profit world has to the not-for-profit world. So the idea is to look for great organizations using, a venture capital approach, due diligence, etc., and then find, the areas where they really need help, which is largely in building the organization, thinking about scaling, strategy, etc., and then, offer both of these services really to non-profits.
How do you think we can streamline the funds that are coming from corporates after it's been made mandatory into a better direction? How can we streamline those funds correct?
I think the biggest issue today corporates are having is while they, want to follow the mandate and make those CSR investments according to the section under the law. The issue has been that their ability to put together a team that understands how to find these organizations, how to understand the programs that these organizations are involved in, and then how to monitor them. So I think these are the three broad issues where they've been having challenges. In our discussions with a lot of corporates, I think what we've been saying is that we need to promote greater collaboration among the different CSR arms of the corporates because there are a few players like us who have been in the sector longer, much before the law mandated it. And so we have built a good repository of organizations that are working in the sector. And we have also monitored them, worked with them over the last 5 to 7 years. So the idea is to really share some of the knowledge that we've, not really because we want to earn a fee, but largely because we want non-profits to also benefit from the CSR money that should go to them.
Absolutely. After the government has made it mandatory, the 2%, do you think we need another supervising body legally in place to see? Because we're usually deceived by figures on the annual report. People take it back under the table. Do you think we need a monitoring body for these activities and this 2% that's mandatory?
I think, I'm not really in favor of monitoring, largely because I think when something is done, especially CSR related work, when it's done under some sort of pressure, then the quality of the work that goes in, the kinds of organizations that get funded generally that deteriorates. The idea is to create sort of moral pressure among corporates, and the best way to do it is to get corporates that are doing the good work to showcase and to build sort of an industry, more like an industry body that works that plays a catalyzing role in getting together the corporates and also discussing what is it that corporates, what are the challenges that they face and how other participants, so more like peer learning forums where corporates can learn from each other and then execute the CSR mandate.
Uni, it's been made mandatory only 2 years back. Do you foresee any challenges or hurdles in the near future with this? And do you also see a lot of loopholes that would be there in the law also?
I think the challenges are largely that while corporates want to do it, there is also some internal pressure on doing it because you want to meet the letter of the law and not really follow the spirit. So there is some pressure on some corporates to do that. The good thing about the law is that there are a lot of options. You don't necessarily have to follow a particular sector within philanthropy. There's a lot you can do. You can even support the arts, you can support health. So I think there's something in it for everything and for everybody, for every kind of corporate, and they also have the opportunity to align their philanthropy to their business, which also becomes very, very interesting then. So I have a feeling that as time goes by and as there's a lot more showcasing of the CSR that other organizations have done, a lot of people will start putting in the effort to follow the mandate.
When we did talk about CSR, there was a Harvard review report that came out in 2001, and they explained the concept of shared value, where what you have, you share it with the other person. But in India, we usually have it on a give and take basis. So, how do you think we can effectively implement the shared value concept in India?
To be honest, I think we're a little way away. We're still very new in terms of philanthropy. I think we're very familiar with in fact, in what we call internal philanthropy or religious philanthropy, where you support family, which is less advantaged, or you support religious institutions. But broader philanthropy is still very new in this country, and on a corporate level is also actually quite new. A lot of the bigger entrepreneurs have gone on, who have now become, very famous, like Azim Premji or Mr. Ajay Piramal and others, who've really gone and structured and really implemented the shared value concept very well, aligned it to what their core focus wants to be, thought about it very strategically. I think we're a little way away from that point.
I would like to understand how important do you think are individuals to the whole CSR aspect?
I think an economy, when it reaches a certain scale, when it comes to per capita incomes, is when individual philanthropy really starts kicking in. In our country, I think, like I said earlier, there is so much religious and family philanthropy that a lot of people have not gotten on to. Charity in a sense, the way you would see it in the US or the UK or in other advanced economies. But it is very important, because in the US, for example, individuals drive a lot of the themes that are and they also drive themes around what bothers them the most. So in that sense, philanthropy starts really addressing the needs of communities. So in that sense, individuals are very important.
My last question to you, ma'am. Tell me in about exactly 8 to 10 words, what is CSR to you?
Oh my God, that's I've already. No, for me, it's not. CSR is actually beyond what. It has to come from the heart. It can't be because of a business imperative. It can't be because of the law. That is what I feel. I think you have to do it because I think that's your duty as a human being. I think there's a huge role that publications and media houses like yours have to play, because they are in effect keeping us on our toes. They're in effect bringing different learnings from everything that they've seen, that you've seen, from other publications, other economies, other philanthropists, that you see a lot more, and therefore we also learn as a result. So you should keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking to us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.